Bright light is a strong stimulus for cortisol levels coming up in the morning. Again, another reason why you want to have bright light stimulation early in the morning when you're getting up, because that allows the cortisol levels to come up, and that's going to time the melatonin levels later in the evening. So remember that cortisol is a very important hormone. It's a steroid hormone. It goes into the cells, goes into the nucleus, and controls about 20% of the genome of your DNA. And so that if you have chronic stress, also remember that chronic stress increases cortisol levels above what they should be, and that can cause problems on down the road. So you want to have enough cortisol, you want to have it at the right time, and you don't want too much of that cortisol. And so again, another important reason why you want to have bright light exposure in the morning to anchor the circadian rhythm and to make sure your cortisol levels are coming up at the right time. There was a paper that was published in 2015. What they measured was the irradiance of the ebook versus the print book. And you can see here we have irradiance on the y-axis, and we have it broken down into wavelengths. What we have here up top is the ebook, and you can see clearly that, especially in the blue range, there's quite a lot of irradiance coming out at that point. What you probably might have a hard time seeing is because it's so low, is looking at a print book in regular light. And you can see clearly that there's a huge difference in the irradiance between the ebook and the regular print book. So again, it would be better for you to read at night using a regular print book. If you look at sleep latency, which is the time it takes for somebody to fall asleep, you'll see that it was much longer in those who were watching the ebook than those who were reading the book in dim light. In the study, it also showed that those subjects that were reading with the ebook felt more sleepy the next day when they got up. In other words, they had more sleep inertia. Let's summarize exactly what the recommendations are. Number one, in the morning, view sunlight as soon after waking up as possible, ideally before 9 o'clock in the morning. Look, there's nothing better than going outside as the sun is coming up. There is much more light outside than you're ever going to be able to generate inside. But if you have an issue where the sun is not up, or it's very cloudy where you live, you can aim for about 10,000 lux. Spend about 20 to 30 minutes a day in the morning. You want to be anywhere between 11 and 15 inches from the light box. So that's one option. But again, nothing beats actually going outside. Remember when we talked about lux, that on a bright sunny day, it's about 100,000 lux. So you can get that very, very quickly. Remember that the photoreceptors in the retina in the morning are not very sensitive. So you need to have very bright light to activate it, but it's kind of integrated over time. So if it's not very bright, you have to spend a longer amount of time. If it's very bright, then you don't have to spend much time at all. If you're in very bright light, 30 seconds may be all that you need if it's 100,000 lux. On a cloudy winter day, like we were just talking about, it could take up to 30 minutes. But again, making sure that you're getting your eyes looking at bright light in the morning. You want to avoid sunglasses. You want to avoid windows. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but especially the low E glass. That's very effective at filtering out infrared light. You don't want windshields. That doesn't really count. You want to get outside and have nothing between you and the light source. Again, avoiding blue blockers. We talked about how blue light stimulation is really key at that time of the day. So make sure that you're getting as much stimulation as possible. In terms of what you should do in the evening time, after the sun goes down, is to limit as much light as possible after sunset. You want to have any kind of light that you have as low as possible. You want to have it as red as possible, and you want to have it as dim as possible so that you can have the benefit of melatonin secretion from the pineal gland when the time is right. Remember what we said, that intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells are more activated by blue light. So if you have no choice, if you have to do something, it's better to make sure that the blue light aspect is reduced, either by programming it into the computer or by wearing blue blockers, glasses.
Light in the evening, keep it as low as possible, as red as possible, as dim as possible. Avoid screens or use reduced blue light function or wear blue light blocker glasses.